All right, welcome back to the Semi-Sages of the Pages and the author interviews we're doing for our publication, Queens in Wonderland. I'm here with Christina Tang-Bernas, who wrote Alice and Wendy. And I love this story so much. I have a little bit of an obsession with portal stories because I have yet to fall through a portal. One day it's going to happen, I'm sure. But one thing that I love about this is that it explores what happens afterwards. You come home again, having had this life-changing experience. And I think up until recently, the thought of the Darlings and the Alices and all these characters that have fallen through Dorothy, all these characters that have fallen through portals is that they go, that was a fun experience, and then they move on with their boring lives. But when we think about it, we know that that's not what would actually happen. And you explore this concept in such a beautiful and a sad way with this story. It's honestly one of my all-time favorite stories because of how you explore this concept. So, do you want to tell us a little bit more about it?
Thank you for your kind words. I think what you were saying also resonated with me, how someone is irrevocably changed by their experience, just as we are changed by all the experiences in our own lives. And then how do we deal with this reality again? And that does fascinate me, and I do see it happen in many stories. And I feel like Alice and Wendy, they they're such interesting characters to explore this with. Um, and that's exactly what I wanted to explore in this story, what comes after. And I think Alice and Wendy are less initially attracted to each other as women and rather more to their shared tragedy, the way that they can sense that there's finally someone who understands in a very deep way what no one else can, this suffering and this yearning for a place in a life that they can never reach again. um, and I think this is a feeling that a lot of people may have, myself included, this yearning for connection with someone who gets it, who gets the things that you can't really say out loud. So that's what I wanted to explore in this story.
Yeah, and it's done so beautifully. And one of the things that I love about this anthology is that almost all the stories, even the sad ones, which this one is, still kind of end in a, not necessarily a positive, but in a, okay, we can go forward direction. And I love that so much with this story. So, so what drew you to becoming a part of this anthology?
Actually, I'm most drawn to the queer aspect of the anthology. I think Wonderland, it's such a rich treasure trove of possibilities, all the characters, all the situations, and then to use all those possibilities to explore the possibilities of identity, whether it's gender, attraction, your culture, and all the various combinations inherent in that. It's just really great. And I'm really looking forward to reading all the other stories in the anthology and seeing all the different aspects of queerness and identity that are explored.
And all of these stories are so phenomenally different. I really struggled putting together the order because of that, because I didn't want to end up front loading all of the romances or, back loading all of the fantasies, but there were so many different concepts being explored as well, because anthologies and putting the stories in the correct order is a lot about the mood and the tone. And this was really challenging to do, but so much fun. And the stories are so fantastic. Was there anything about writing the story that was challenging for you?
I think trying to get the characters right
Mm.
and also making sure that I explored um, the way they deal with it, their addictions, in a realistic and respectful way instead of trying to just focus so much on the the tragedy of it. I wanted to show that that's just, again, another part of their identity, and they need to work through it, and they work through it together, and just trying to be respectful of that process.
Yeah, and you did an absolutely amazing job.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So before we get to the reading, where can our viewers find out more information about you?
Links to my writing and other publications can be found on my website, which is just my full name, Christina Tang-Bernas, all one word, .com. And I can also be found on Twitter and Blue Sky, both at CTB Ideas. I'm not super active on either, but I like to post random thoughts, funny things my daughter does, and announcements of all my writing publications there.
Good, good, awesome, awesome. Well, I hope everyone checks that out. Okay, ready for the reading?
Okay, my story's name is Alice and Wendy. My name is Alice. I'm an alcoholic and I'm trying hard not to be. Wendy watched her say that first time before Alice had headed back to her seat in the back of the room, her pointed chin held high, red brushed over sharp cheekbones, and lips pressed together. Alice never said anything more in future meetings, only snuck in after the meeting started to sit on the hard metal folding chairs, then disappeared through the YMCA door afterward with minimal interaction. Wendy didn't know why she still came to Alcoholics Anonymous meetings herself. While she struggled most days, she found her steady footing, sober for over 5 years. Perhaps it was the familiarity, the routine. Perhaps Wendy had still been searching for something, someone, but hadn't known it until Alice. Alice. Wendy began watching for her silent presence, that head of bright blonde hair framing an elegant oval face. Alice looked out of place in the dim, beige carpeted room the AA meetings were held. It wasn't that which so caught Wendy's attention, though. When she'd reached out that first night, unable to resist, to brush her fingertips against the silk maroon skirt swishing by her, Alice had glanced straight into her eyes. Wendy had had to bite back her gasp, trapping it at the top of her throat. Alice's clear blue eyes looked through the world, as if she could see something just out of reach, something beyond, the same eyes that looked back at Wendy in the mirror. Thank you.
Oh, it's so good, so beautiful, and just so full of just this longing. I so enjoy this one.
Thank
So
you.
you're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Well, I think that wraps up this interview. Thank you so much for coming on the Semi-Sages of the Pages, Christina. If you're watching this, that means Queens in Wonderland is available for pre-order or is available in all the places. So please pick up your copy, check out these wonderful stories, including Alice and Wendy. So thanks for coming. Anything else to add?
No, thanks for including me in this anthology. I'm really honored and I'm really excited to read it.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so incredible. So thank you. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye now.